Fun fact, Gore Amoto here is based on Miyamoto. I don't know if it's just in his name or also his design and character, but as far as I've heard, like, his character is based on Miyamoto. Must be really flattering of the creator of Mario and Zelda and basically the harbinger of all great things in video games is represented in this game as this guy with smoking acne. Wonder what that statue is for. Has kind of a red egg in it. Maybe it's the key to swap and stop. Stop and swap. I just accidentally stopped and swapped the words. Oh hey, Uku again! If you look closely at Uku's head, you kind of see lines in it. Maybe it's supposed to make him look like an Easter egg with stripes, but I just think it looks like veins in his head, or her head. I don't know what gender to call Uku. I just assume that Uku is a she because she has a kid. And also nipples. But that's most of what I have to go on. There's probably an official gender somewhere. This dungeon, not one of my favorites in the game. I don't dislike it, but it has this part, and this part is very slow. You can't really do much whenever you're upside down like this. You can't do a jump attack. Normally if I was walking along like this, I would try to do a jump attack to make things go a little bit faster, because Link kind of pushes himself forward after a jump attack whenever you have iron boots on. But you just kind of have to make him lug his body all over this place just really slowly, and it's tedious. There are certainly certain parts of this game that are tedious. But we can also admire this magnetic field here. Kind of looks like water. In a way, I'm a little bit surprised that Nintendo doesn't give you magnet boots that walk on iron, instead of iron boots that walk on big walls of magnets. Seems like magnetic boots would be more useful and more, like, you could experiment with them more. But then again, if you don't base an entire game around whether or not different metals, like things are made out of different metals, then it might be a little bit too easy to abuse a magnetic boot feature. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It just seems like magnetic boots would be cooler and take you more places. Was that part of the game, or was... No, I think that was part of the game. It looked like a bug just went across the screen, but I'm pretty sure that was just like some ash. Yeah, like that ash that went by just then. Although that does remind me, the last time that I played this dungeon, I remember that there was a spider that just crawled across the floor, and I had to stop the game and kill it because it was trespassing on my property. And I'm just going the most roundabout way here, aren't I? Thankfully, I just happened to have shoes next to me. Not on me, but I had shoes in my room at the time, just sitting next to me, and managed to kill the spider like that. And it was also recorded. I had it on camera, but since the recording failed, well, it didn't really work out, but it's just interesting to have a Let's Play where... Or it would have been interesting to have a Let's Play where I just kill a bug in the middle of gameplay. This game is essentially just killing bugs. It's Jet Force Gemini. Or you could argue that it's bug testing in games. This is the life of a programmer, just killing a whole bunch of bugs. Maybe this game is a metaphor for being a programmer. I kind of doubt it. Alright. Bring around the magnet. That totally looks like something from Phazon Mines. Just that big crane there. Or Magma Caverns, certain parts of it. I tried Let's Playing Metroid Prime once. I wasn't completely successful, I never finished it. And I didn't really have enough to say about the game. I might could try it again someday, but even though I really like the game, it's very hard to talk over it. And more enemies to defeat. I'm glad that this flaming keys... I assume that it's a keys. But then again, it looks nothing like the other bat-like creatures from earlier, so I don't know what to think about it. I'm glad that they're not like the ones in Ocarina, where they completely burn you up if they get near you. Or maybe they are, and I just haven't gotten burned up yet. I'm guessing this because my shield has not been burnt up yet, and I know that it can get burnt. Not that it's really that useful. At least it can't get... It's amazing that this shield can get burned up, but getting turned into splinters by getting hit too hard is not an issue. I forgot what's in this treasure chest. Oh, it's a key. Yeah, this treasure chest, I think, has always been weird to me because it looks like something that should be completely optional and out of the way, but then it turns out it's required to finish the dungeon. These I know are Tektites, because Tektites look like this in every Zelda game, a little bit. These are a little bit more like spiders, at least in their details, than the other ones that I've seen. What is that? I thought I saw something glow, but I guess not. Link is a real champ. He's just taking all this like it's a normal day for him. Even though all of this is completely surreal. Maybe that's... Well, Link has his own character, he has his own personality, but I guess all the times when he doesn't really react to things, his personality is just supposed to be whatever the player is feeling. And so, what Link thinks is up for you to decide. And that's why he doesn't have that much of a personality and he's a relatively simple character. It's because he's not supposed to be separate from you, and you're supposed to fill in the blanks. Let me just fly straight sideways. I'm sure Einstein and whoever else are just rolling in their graves now, because physics has been massacred. I don't like those switches. The switch that I just hit, that was blue, and then I hit it, and then after about 2 seconds it turned yellow. Hate those things. Because there's no reason that it shouldn't just happen immediately. I don't understand it. Maybe that was Nintendo's way of fixing some bug that they couldn't find a way to fix. They just had it get delayed. I don't know. It just feels really unnatural and dirty to me that it has such a delay. I believe there's one more heart piece over here, and that'll be the last heart piece of this dungeon. And also the last heart piece that we have to, Okay, good. I wasn't building up to something that wasn't here. We've filled up another heart container. I don't really plan on this. I'm just getting whatever I notice, and it just happens to be the things that I need. Stomp, 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 and we're ready. Kaplunk. Do we have a key yet? I think we do. Yeah, we got the key from the water. That dumb key. Oh, and you know what I just noticed? This is another one of those areas that just looks so Phazon Mine-esque. and also a little bit like Talon Overworld, maybe. But I just noticed that the first dungeon, the doors had the Kokiri Emerald symbol on them, and then these have the Goron Ruby symbol on them. So, I don't remember what the doors in the third dungeon look like, but spoiler alert, it's a water dungeon, so I wonder if it looks like the Ruby, the Zora Sapphire. That would be an interesting thing to notice. Let's say it again. Say it with me. Attention to detail. I like how this room is also kind of filled with water. I mean, I said that there was the one room that looked cool and relaxed, but well, I don't take that. I don't take that statement back. This is also kind of a hot-looking room, but it has water in it, so it makes it seem cooler. Cooler in both ways. I have no idea what this box is here for. You can't push it. It's just here. For no reason. Why are you here? Pushable box that isn't pushable. Maybe that was like a debug thing, and the programmers just forgot to take it out. That's my explanation for everything, is that the creators just forgot. Okay, what you're supposed to do here is whenever this thing turns around, turns over, you have to be on one of the magnetic things and stay on. But what I'm going to attempt to do is run across before it reaches its point. Yeah, there we go. I like doing that. There's also a point in Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door where you're supposed to kind of go through this part with a bunch of spikes really methodically, but you can rush through with the right timing. Hey, brudda. Gore Ebizo. At least these are less Goron derivative names. It's not just Gore-Koron. I haven't mentioned this yet, but I like the whole concept of this dungeon and how it's laid out. Because, I didn't really know what the explanation was for how the Forest Temple came to be, logically speaking, in game canon. But this all makes sense to me. Like, the Goron mines are a place where the Gorons mine for rocks to eat. And the only reason that there are puzzles everywhere, and it's a really... Well, first, it's a really hazardous place because it's meant for Gorons and not for humans. But secondly, it has all these locks and things because they're trying to keep something out. Darbus went crazy, and they're trying to make sure that he doesn't escape, and they want all the other Gorons to be safe. So every puzzle in this area kind of makes sense. And it's also cool that this is sort of like a miniature game in itself. A miniature collectathon game. Am I over a point where I can fall now? I think I am, but I'm gonna just be on the safe side and walk a little bit further. Because the whole idea of what we're going through here is we're trying to collect 3 shards of a key to open the big door at the end of the dungeon. And it's a little bit like the fused shadows that we're trying to collect. They're also broken apart and we're trying to get them all back together. And the Triforce in the first Zelda game, it's broken apart, you try to get it back together. And look at this gate. These bars, they're so haphazardly put together. Everything else in the dungeon is so very carefully put together, it seems like, but then that's just totally unorthodox. Goron craftsmanship for you. Oh, human? No, this is none of your beeswax, sir.